Hello. Is this gonna work? All right. I think we're back. Uh, fun stuff. All right, while this is working, I'm gonna get going. We're gonna continue on with the racking. We're on number 2. Oh. Number 2 was the. That's not everywhere now. It is just. Oh, it's the Red Delicious apples. That was my first go at the Red Delicious apple and cinnamon, and I really liked it. It was really good, and so that's what inspired me to try making the full thing, making a large 3-gallon, which I've already racked over now. So we'll get this going. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Hello, whoever's watching. Trying to keep away from getting a lot of sediment. Maybe. Okay. Now I got that done. Let's go ahead and clean out this carboy so we can use it for the next one. Do that. Make sure and rinse it out real well. to use our sanitized water, dip it in, and this will help us make sure it's nice and clean. Good. Shake it around a little bit. We're going to give one more little rinse. Then we're good for the next one. So let's get on to the next one. We're also going to make sure and properly name this one. So let's do that. Or name the previous one, I should say. So this was number 2. It was, or today is the 8th. We're on the 3rd rack. Oh, not 3rd back. 3rd rack. All right. Done with that one. Number 3. Let's start doing it. Oh, actually, I need my auto siphon. Okay, auto siphon. Now we can get started. This one is, when I started, I think I mentioned this previously in the last live stream since I've had some problems. I started with a 3-gallon batch of stuff, and I ended up splitting it into 3 different gallons. It was basically just a 9-pound thing of honey and 3 gallons of water, and then I made 3 different batches. So these 3 are the ones I did. And this is one of them, and this was my first time using pears. So I didn't write how many pounds, I believe it was about 2 or 3 pounds of pears, and I put it into the secondary fermentation. Yeah, so, hey Texas Slab, these are meads. These are all the meads that I have going on right now. And I am just finished racking them. I started earlier, about 7 o'clock, and then as I was racking, I had some problems with my stream, so I'm back again, and now I already did all my 3-gallon carboy ones, and now I'm down to my 1 gallons. So yeah, now we're getting these going. And I'll try and read your comments as I'm going. I had it on my iPad, but my iPad died, so now I gotta look at over my shoulder. This one has quite a bit of sediment, so I gotta be real careful about getting too much of the sediment at the bottom. So I just gotta watch. The pears really left a lot of sediment in this. One thing I encourage everyone to do whenever you are using fruit, and it's something I need to follow, kind of like to make a rule, but you don't follow it. Everyone should try and use some kind of bag or something to where you basically imagine like a tea bag, you're dipping it in the water. Well, you can do that with your fruits and everything like that, and that way you're kind of keeping the actual bulk of the fruit all together. And so when you're ready to just pull them out, you can do that. Now the thing is, you can't do it in like a small 1-gallon carboy like this because it's too small of a hole to do all that for. So you can mainly do it with your buckets, which I do a lot of stuff in buckets. I'm gonna watch to make sure I don't get a lot of sediment here. unfortunately, I think I'm going to lose a little bit of mead. Trying to get rid of, trying not to get sediment. Maybe. Let's see. And yeah. Okay, I'm going to lose about a little bit of mead. That's okay, because I'd rather have a clearer mead than a mead that has a lot of stuff in it. So now to clean this one out. Before we do that, to make our life easier, we're going to label this while we're thinking about it. So, number 3, this is also the third rack. Third rack. This is, let's say 3, 8, 18. Run that back in. Put it over here, and now we can clean up this carbon waste. We can move to the next one. Go ahead and turn the camera. The sediment, yeah, Texas is real. It's real annoying to deal with. I found that if you don't get rid of your sediment early, it just keeps building up, and I've made the mistake of not dealing with it quickly enough, and so it's been something that I've dealt with for a long time on some of these meats. So always deal with it early. Get as little sediment as possible from your first rack. Go ahead and rinse this one out, and I'll read your comment in a second. Sorry, I'm trying to read from afar. I don't have great eyes. This one definitely, you can smell the pears, which is nice. Okay, so if you're just tuning in, what I do is I clear out all the mead from the carboy, and then now I'm using, this is a bucket of just sanitation water, so it has all my sanitation stuff in it. So I'm just going to submerge it in it, let it fill up a little bit, pull it out, and then shake it. And this water is still good, so I can use it. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it, because I have a couple more meads I need to do. Then we rinse one more time. Sanitized water through our actual auto siphon, get some of the old meat out. Alright, next mead, here we go. We're on number 4. Now, one kind of fun thing, I've been able to, I think some of you guys have seen my mead room, which is that room that has all of my mead stuff. It's just my pantry. But fortunately, I'm able to use that room for all that. So it's been nice to have some extra space. Yeah, so I just read your comment, Texas. That's a good idea. I've never thought about that. I just wonder, how do you set them at an angle and have them stay? I guess you could put something underneath, but I'd be worried about, yeah, you could probably do that. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll have to try that next time. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the next one. Number 4. Number 4 is the this is just 3 pounds of Nature Nate's honey, just a straight normal mead. One of the different ones that I think one of the only times I've ever done a straight mead with no additives, so to speak. So 3 pounds of honey, cut a wood angle. Yeah. See, you're smarter than me. I didn't think about that. That's great. Okay. I gotta try that. That'd be easy enough to maybe get some of that sediment, or keep the sediment out. Oh. But I do angle it whenever I get to the bottom some, so I can try to get to level. Are you working on any meads right now in Texas? Almost. This one's not as clear, which is surprising to me because it didn't have any additives, didn't have any peaches or anything. So like the peaches one and the fruit one's more clear. So I don't understand exactly why that is. I'm still figuring that part out. Oh, cool. I think it'd be really cool to do some ciders. And you know, wine would be fun too. It's just a whole nother world. And right now I have so much equipment, so many carboys that making mead is so easy for me. And I've really enjoyed making mead. I think it's a good opportunity. What kind of meads do you have going on right now? Yeah, Sicer. That's a good idea. Let's see, try to get a little less air bubbles. This one doesn't have a lot of sediment. It's just not very clear, which is something kind of a bummer. There's this little sediment at the bottom. We're gonna avoid that. Ooh, wow. So, have you tried your vanilla bean yet? The vanilla bean one, or is it too new? Because I'd be interested in doing a vanilla bean one. That sounds pretty cool. Done with this part. Now, same process. Gonna move this over. Name it. Third rack. 3, 8, 18. Clean up this next one. I don't have to do too much scrubbing on these because there's not a lot of stuff sticking to them, thankfully. Alright, now I go back in here. Okay, give it a shake. Save this water. And rinse. looks like then. Whew, a little water splash. Okay. I'm just getting water everywhere. Next one. Get the water out. All right, let's see what you say. So, why do you think the vanilla bean was so sour to begin with? I'd be curious to know, like, see what you think about that. Because I would figure that it'd be pretty sweet, but maybe I'm wrong. Next one, is number 5. Number 5 is this is my cherry mead. So this is 3 pounds of Nature Nate's honey, 1 gallon of water, and 3 pounds of cherries. I put these in the secondary. There's a video for that as well. It's hard to tell about sediment wise for this one because it's so dark, but I'll be real careful to try and get as little sediment as possible. I do like the color on this one. I think it's kind of interesting to me just how cherry it came out. We're gonna let that go. Oh, gotta wash this. Oops, sorry. Oh yeah. So that primary, that would make sense. I think when I first started with these, I knew nothing, and I still feel like I know nothing about it. But I only left like my first 3 or 4 different batches ferment in the primary stage for like 2 weeks. It's like nothing. So I don't understand. You know, in my mind, I was like, oh, well, that's enough. I would see that the fermentation had stopped, or at least I believed it did. And when in reality, it just slowed a little bit. And so it was kind of silly. I'm surprised some of my meads even came out very good in general, since I cut them so short. Now this one does have sediment at the bottom, so I'm gonna have to be real careful. Good. Okay, avoided some of that sediment. Same process. Put this over here. I lost a little bit of meat with that one, and you know, in Texas, I think you're right. It'd probably be easiest if I prepared the sediment some, but I did not that this time. Number 5, 3, 8, 17. Oh, 18. Goodness. Third rack. That was done. Now let's clean up this carboy. I would totally be drinking some of this right now, but I'm saving my tastings for a video idea. So I figure if I do that now, if I do all my tastings now, I'm going to end up kind of spoiling the video for other things to myself. So I'm going to save that. But man, I would be joining you right now drinking some of this mead because from my primary tastes of it, when I first racked them and all that, it's good. It's really good. I've got 1, 2, 3. I got a couple more. That's okay though. The more rackings I can get, hopefully the cleaner they'll be. The clearer they'll be. Some of these are really not old, but like the last rackings on, I think 2 or 3 of them were in October. So it's been a while since I've racked them. So it's good to get some rackings in. Okay. Alright, we are ready for the next one. What kind of mead are you drinking, Texas? Mango, yes. John Samuda. Mango mead is good. I actually have a big one of mango. I'd be curious to try yours, Texas, and compare ours and see how yours tastes. Number. Oh wait, I'm not going to label this yet. Nice. I've only tried 1 or 2 Sicers, so I'd be curious to give some more Sicers a try. I also need my auto siphon. Forget about that. Oh, okay. Next one, number 6. This one I remember for sure, without even having to look, is the blueberry mead. I really, well, I'll turn this a little bit. Really liked this mead. It was sweet. It just had a great flavor. It's something that I would love to do a bigger batch of sometime in the future. I knew that blueberries were sweet, but I don't know, it turned out really good. And one thing I did do a little differently, maybe they were had an easier time like combining with the mead in the secondary. But what I did was I froze them and then, I blended them and then froze them. So this had a lot of sediment, which is why there's not a lot of mead in the actual container. But it's really good. Well, thank you, Texas. Man, that's nice of you to say. I appreciate that. I never imagined that this channel would even go above 100 subscribers. So this is kind of cool. And getting to do this, I never imagined. Starting from, you can't really see it, but my first couple meads, right over there, 1, 2, and 3. I never imagined that those meads would spark such a crazy amount of interest in my own life and other people's. So now, if you look at this one is like super stained, which means I'm gonna have to do a little work on it to get it to clear up. Now, the mead itself is going to be very dark, and I don't expect it to clear up, but I want to make sure and get this glass carboy. Now I got to really watch though that it wouldn't set it. I didn't think blueberries would stain that bad, but I guess they do over time. fair amount of sediment at the bottom of this one, which is fine. So now I'm going to do a little work on this guy. First, we get the label. Number 6. I'm hoping to, I'm really close with the stages of actually bottling these. So I think that most of these are pretty close to like actual bottling stage because, I mean, they're pretty clear, I would say. And I think that, I mean, I could probably, everyone could rack them more, you know, more. I could probably rack these 10 times more if I wanted to. But realistically, I don't need to do that. I don't need to rack them 800 times for them to actually be perfect. I'm going to actually do both, Texas. The hope is that I'll have some wine bottles for like big ones that I really like, and then I'm also going to do a few smaller beer bottles, kind of to give to friends for tasting and whatnot. So just in case some of these my friends don't end up liking, you know, a specific kind, then I can say like, okay, well they can try it and see from there. This one's going to take the brush. Oh my gosh. Alright, this one is going to take a little while just because of the staining on it. Alright, got all the stuff now. I'm going to, it's hot. I'm going to shake, cleanse it, and I'll read your comments in a second. Sorry, I don't have great eyes. Shake. I'm saving this water because it's not bad. It's only, I mean, it's gone into a carboy and then out pretty quickly. So it's not like I'm worried about actually contamination and all that stuff because these carboys are clean. All right, next one. We are flying through these. Oh, I also need to clean off my auto siphon. Don't forget about that. A little bit through it. All right. Okay. Sorry, reading some comments. Yes, Jeffrey, I am back on. I don't know if it was me or YouTube or what, but whatever it was annoying. It made life harder. Let's see. Okay, next one. Oh, is. Has some water in it. Okay, next one. Number 9. Oh man, number 9 is. It is the peaches mead. It is 3 pounds of Arizona wildflower honey, 1 gallon of water, a packet of K1B1116 yeast, and then I believe it was 3 pounds of peaches that I use. And I put the peaches into the primary with this one, so it wasn't in the secondary. But this one, I also remember thinking when I made it, I was like, man, it's gonna be really sweet. It's gonna be like kind of hard to drink. I don't know. And when I tried it, the peaches didn't pop out as much as I thought. So I was kind of puzzled by that. But it's still good mead. And it's real clear. I mean, it's surprisingly clear for how it's been. I think I've racked it 4th rack, so I mean I've racked it quite a few times. Let's see. I think it'd be great to make a slicer. I'm actually working on, if you are a subscriber to me or seen my videos right now, we just did the March monthly mead. We're going to be doing an orange juice or orange mead. So I just started all the honey in the water. It's 3 pounds of Desert Creek honey, 4 pounds, excuse me, of Desert Creek honey, a gallon of water, and then that's all in the primary. And then I'm going to actually put about 2 cups of orange juice, and then actually some oranges in with it, just to kind of add both. So I don't know how the orange juice is going to affect the mead. We'll see. But I figure if I put it into the secondary, then it's not with the yeast, and the yeast won't have a hard time figuring out what to do with all of the acidity, like the lemon lime mead that I made that was so sour that, oh, killed me. Even though it was in secondary, it still was hard to drink. Thanks, John. That's funny. I'm glad you like the videos, man. That's good to hear. Alright, we're getting close. This one doesn't have very much sediment, which is nice. That's the one to watch out. Keep it as clear as possible is the goal. Maybe. There's all that in the bottom. That's okay though. We're going to stop about now. Alright, so we only lost a little bit. That's alright. You gotta lose some in the case with mead, unfortunately. Move this over here. This was the 5th rack of this mead. So that's a lot of rackings. That's probably why it's so clear in this case. AKA James, I can't tell you if I'm doing the orange mead right. I know that Jeffrey's probably right to leave the peel. Yeah, and just get the actual orange part, not the peel, because I think that will actually hurt the mead. Number 9, 5th rack, and then we're on 8th day of March. Oh my gosh. Okay. Next, we need to clean this. Okay. I'm going to clean up this one here. A little bit of sediment at the bottom, not so bad. This one doesn't have any step on the side, so I don't have to worry about scraping or brushing. Dump it into our sanitizing mix. Give it a couple shakes. And one more rinse, and we're good. Quick shake. And we're on to the next one. We have 3 more. That's it. 3 more. All right. Oh, yeah, Trevor, sorry. I didn't think I was gonna be able to get it working, but then it started to work. Yeah. So, John, your comment about the audio, I'm working on my my actual setup right now. This is all from my phone, so it'd be great if I had a perfect setup, but this is the first time I've ever done a stream like this, so trying to work on that. I'll get a better setup in the future if these things turn out to be something worth it. Which I think they are worth it. Now the problem is content-wise. When you did the... Yeah, I could, John, I could definitely cut down on... I could cut down on the fruit, and that probably would have done it. I could probably put some lime juice, and that would have got it done as well. So, top. Can you guys hear me all right? I'm trying to talk a little louder. Like I said, I'm on my phone with my live stream stuff, so it's not a perfect setup, unfortunately. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, next one. We have the number 11, which is the November monthly mead, which was the candy cane mead. This one was this was incredible. I love this one. I think that it's something that I would absolutely do a bigger batch of in the future. So this had 52 candy canes in it, and then of course my yeast, and I used in this one. Let's see. Arizona wildflower honey with it. Let's see. Okay, let's get started. This one's not as clear, which is fine. I've only racked it once since December, so it definitely needs a few more rackings before I end up bottling. Now it's clear coming out here, but once it gets all together, I think part of it's the sediment. There's a good layer of sediment down at the bottom that I think is starting to mix into it. Meet and greet. Danger Dave's Dragon Blood. I have not tried that. I've never heard of that. That sounds interesting. Danger Dave's. Dragon Blood is just like the classic, perfect name for mead. I think that you could roll with it. I know a lot of people are also talking about the like Skyrim meads and those things. I am not in the Chicago area. I'm actually in Texas right now. Live in Texas. Just like Texas Slab, I'm sure, if he's still here. Let's see. Yeah, Texas, that is Creature Hub stuff. I saw it on theirs. They're actually, I saw some of their stuff and I found it interesting. You know, I kind of, I'll say, quote, discovered mead through them. And, you know, I think it's something that they, seeing them do it, was something that motivated me to. Jack's Ancient Brew. There are so many mead recipes I'd like to try. That'd be great. The only problem I see with mead is just, and it's not even a problem, it's just an impatience thing, is that it takes so long to finish. You know, there's no, unless you're like talking about this JAOM one, that's very rare, it seems like, to find a fast mead like that. How long does most wine take? Doesn't wine take quite a long time if you're making, I mean, I guess if you're making, I'll say lower quality wine, but for like a good wine, how long does it normally take? Oh, got a lot of sediment in this one. Yeah, this one I'm gonna have to sacrifice a little mead to keep it from, you know, getting all in this racking. So we can go ahead and label it. This was number 11. 318. Second rack. We've got to clean this next carboy. Always sacrifice a young mead. That's funny. That one is decently young. I mean, it's about 2 or 3 months. All right, quick cleaning. All right, so I'll talk a little louder since I'm over here. Maybe that'll help with the audio. This one, I don't know if any of you guys have ever tried a candy cane mead, or peppermint mead rather, but you should absolutely give it a shot. Just cleaning out that little bit smelled incredible, and the mead itself is great. So that's probably my number one mead I've ever made is a peppermint mead. All right. Next one. Let's see. I actually don't know of him. Well, maybe. I don't think I've heard of him before. I probably should. I mean, it's something that I could probably learn from, realistically. It'd be easier on me. So one little fun fact for you guys, and since you're live stream people, I think it'd be funny if you guys knew this. All of the music you hear in my videos, in between things, like whenever we're fast forwarding through things, is always something I've done. I'm also a musician on the side, and so I'm a drummer, so I end up playing a lot of stuff, and I play a lot of other instruments too. So a lot of that stuff you hear, and even like some of the music, like right now, I created a little bitty mix. This is like just something I did for fun. Mead competition. Wow. Make a Discord. That'd be cool. That'd be cool to do that. I'd like to stay involved with mead stuff and get you guys, like this live stream is really fun for me just because I get to talk to you guys, but also it's cool to get to see other people who make mead talk to each other about mead. So I think we all can learn from each other, for sure. What do I listen to? I listen to, and this sounds really bad, and this is hopefully not going to offend anybody. I live in Texas, and I don't listen to country. That's about the only thing I don't listen to. It's just something that I didn't grow up listening to country, which is funny. I should probably listen to it. I'd blend in a little better in life, but I don't. Texas, you should definitely make some videos. They're fun. It's really easy. All you need is like a phone or something. I have a camera, but I can do it all with the phone. Thanks, Top. That's really nice of you. Yeah, you should start small. I mean, you don't have to start with a big one. I'm a single person, and I just have the very fortunate time in my life to be able to buy a bunch of glass carboys and buy a bunch of mead. So I'm kind of, quote, living it up while I can before life gets busy with everything else. Oh, this one I didn't even introduce. This is the December monthly mead, which was a gallon of water, and then 3 pounds of Members Mark white honey, and this was the limited in lime mead, the infamous limited lime mead that was so sour. I'm gonna have to back sweeten this one. I have yet to back sweeten it. I should soon, and I will before I decide to rack it. But even smelling it now, you can smell the lemons and the limes. And while it was good, it had that flavor. that is hard to take. Um, the best place you can get, I would buy your honey in bulk. So you can do like something like I do, where um, I buy off of Amazon, and I get like 12 pounds at a time if I find a honey I like, and then I'll just use that for a while. Or you can go to honey.com, I think is what it is, and they also sell bulk honey. Or maybe it's honey. There's if you look up bulk honey on YouTube or on Google, excuse me, um, you'll find lots of places where people are selling bulk honey, and uh, you can get like a huge thing of honey, like 20 pounds plus, for like $100, 100 whatever, and that's pretty good. That'll last you a long time. Can you blend the lemon lime with one of your sweeter meats? I think I could. I think I could do that. That's a good idea. I haven't thought about that. I have some that are just straight meats that might be good to do that with. So I'm gonna go ahead and move this over. Okay, this is the second rack of this mead. I use a couple different yeasts. Let me find them. Okay, so I have a couple different yeasts I like to use, and I bought a bunch of different packages of them. One is the Lavlin EC1118, and then also use the Lavlin 71 B1122. I like that one. And then lastly, I also, which I've used in a lot of videos, is the Lavlin K1 B1116 yeast. Now these all have different purposes and different best scenarios, so to speak. Some of them are really good for darker fruits. Some of them, and I don't remember off the top of my head. I have a little chart that I look at whenever I choose what yeast to use. But I look at the chart, and basically I gauge based off that temperature range, and then okay, if I'm making a pear mead or a peach mead, what might be best? The one I use the most is the K1 B1116 yeast. And that's just been a great overall yeast to use that I've had a lot of success with. So you use, depending on how big of a batch you're using, one little packet, which is a 5-gram packet of yeast, will get you through up to like 3 gallons generally, up to 5 gallons really. And then from there, when you're making huge batches, you want to use like 2, but you don't need to use a ton. I had some D47, and I had 1 or 2 packets of it, and I need to get some more. That's also a really good one to use. I would highly suggest that one. Okay, we gotta clean this. This one doesn't have a lot of sediment, which is nice, so I don't have to worry about it. You have to carefully choose your yeast every single time you make a mead. And so yeast are really, I mean, they're creatures. They're a thing of themselves. So So whenever you are dealing with them, you can't treat them like something that you can manipulate into your own will. Like, and I'll show you just one moment, show you guys. Hold on, I'll talk over my water. Okay, so I use, just like I said, they're creatures of themselves, so you need to be careful with them. And I started early. The thing I did, I heard about, you got to give them nutrients, and you have to take care of them that way. And I didn't quite understand. The point of the nutrients for yeast is to help them basically operate at their highest capacity. So for like us, we need food, of course, to survive. For them, it is nutrients. And one thing, if you are starting, or if you have been doing mead, to use is, let me find it. I use this in every video, and I love it. It is Fermentation. You use, let me get my 1 gram per gallon. Fermentation. This stuff is basically, it's like an energizer. And you pair this with the Go Firm Protect, which is your yeast nutrient. And between the two, what you're creating is this good barrier for the yeast to actually have the nutrients to survive. They need 3 things, of course, nutrients, which is like your food, and then the energizer will help them, give them the energy, kind of like our coffee. And then last of all, they need oxygen. So someone asked me a while back, and I'll do it right now too. Let me find my aerator. So I use this. This is an aerator, and basically it is just an oxygen pump that you plug into the wall, of course. When you plug it into the wall, it sends your oxygen, it picks up oxygen through here and sends it into this oxygen stone. Now this oxygen stone is what puts the oxygen in the mead. And ultimately when you're feeding your yeast in the must form, in the yeast, in the beginning stage, you need to give them as much oxygen as possible, because that will allow them to survive and thrive for longer. They use the oxygen the fastest. So paired between this and then your yeast nutrient stuff, you're giving the yeast a good opportunity to go through all of the honey and all that stuff and take your gravity from its highest point, whatever it is, to the lowest. If you don't give it enough, they'll stop early, and a lot of people lose that because the yeast stop early. Okay. You guys probably didn't need to hear that. You already know more than me in general. So I just was preaching to the choir then. But hopefully I've helped out someone with that. Now we need to label this one. This was the number, oh goodness, got my numbers wrong. 12, gotta label it. Number 12, 3, 8, 18. That was the third graph. I'm going to leave the airlock on this one just for a couple more days, and I'm going to make sure and watch and see if the actual fermentation is stopped, which it should. But better safe than sorry. I'd rather not run into a problem. All right, guys. Let's see. Headspace top. Yes, that is a good question. So depending on how well my mead goes, I try to get as much headspace as possible, or as little as possible, to keep the aeration from happening. However, occasionally it runs into the issue of, oh goodness, trying to get my face in here. Run into the issue of you just lose mead. So like over the course of racking this one right here, I've just lost so much mead that there's no way I can fix this. If I just started to water it down, then that's going to water down the water, or excuse me, the mead, and I don't want that. So I kind of leave it like this. I do worry about oxygenation, but there's not much I can do at this point, so I kind of leave it up to them. Which, speaking of, this guy just had a little bubble action happening. Last mead. All right. Trevor, I don't know what I'm going to do for the next one. I've had some ideas. You guys have mentioned to me what would be a good one, and I'm trying to figure it out. We'll see. And then John, yeah. I think it matters more in the primary when there's all the oxygen kind of stuff. A lot of people think that when you have oxygen above in this form, you're creating problems for the yeast, or for the actual mead itself, but it's hard to say exactly. So let's get started on the last one. Man, last one. This one was just racked about a week ago, and I decided to go ahead and do it again. This was the banana and strawberry mead. So this is number 15, had 4 pounds, 14, 13, I can't count my numbers. 13, 3 pounds of Desert Creek honey, 4 pounds of strawberries, 2 pounds of bananas, and then a Lavlin 71B1122 yeast. Now I used that one because it was more suitable for the strawberries and the berries, of what I read from online whenever I was looking at this stuff. What about something with spices? Not a bunch of fruit. Yeah. That would be good. I've heard a lot about spice meads, and I think that would be interesting too. I just gotta, I need to find something to just try. Lemon ginger. That does sound pretty good. Blushing monkey. That's interesting. Maybe I could call this the blushing monkey. Gotta give it a name. I think this one's gonna end up pretty clear too. Apple pie? Yeah, that could be good. Apple pie, Yeah, it is pretty clear now, Trevor. I think it'll get better. There's still some sediment at the bottom too. The apple pie idea reminds me of apple pie moonshine. I think that, if I'm right, if I'm thinking the right thing, the moonshine. It's pretty good. Ginger peach. That sounds like it could be good. Oh. John, I don't know about a cardamom. I don't know anything about it. Yeah, and Trevor, I'm not going to compete with these. I started these because I wanted to do something different, and beer was a little bit harder, so I decided to try this. So I don't plan on taking these to competitions. I don't think I would get that far. Frankly, I'm not the best mead maker in the world by any means, but I think I'm doing at least okay. Avoid the last little bit of sediment here. Now this one I hope to keep as much as I can because I think it's going to taste really good after it ages. But I don't want to get too much sediment. Coffee. Kahlua, yeah. That'd be interesting. Kahlua. Yes, I think that, well, the aging process for mead does clear it up. However, by clearing it up, what it's doing is basically just putting all the sediment at the bottom. So if you start to shake it up again, you're going to have a problem with that. But, yeah. Okay, I'm going to put this over here. And we have one last cleaning. I'll read your guys' comments in a second. Now we're going to mark it up. Let's see. All right. Hey, yeah, Trevor, you're definitely right. I should do that. I didn't think about. I need to either enable the live portion of comments or something online or something else. But I'm going to go ahead and put the airlock back on this because it needs to sit. And then, let's see, there's a question here. Top, you asked about these two right here. This is a cherry mead, and then this is a blueberry mead. So this one's a little lighter. This one is the cherry mead. Yeah, an assistant would be nice, but unfortunately, it's I'm one person. I don't have another person around here currently. So now we get to mark this final one. This was number. Don't get my numbers wrong. I believe 13. 13. This is 3, 8, 18, and this was the second rack. The first rack was about a week ago. So, all right, man, we got a lot done today. We, you know, we ended up running into some problems with streaming stuff, but I think we got a lot of cool stuff happening. So here's a little overview of what I have. Now I got to go through and get rid of my handwriting. It's not great. But what I've done is basically just give my mead number and then put what kind of stuff's in it, kind of honey and whatever else. And then included everything else like third racks, which I need to go through, and I forgot on some of these to put these racks, which is totally bad of me to do that. But I'll go through and put all the rack numbers for this. And then finally I have a category for my gravity before. So I would encourage doing that if you are looking at doing mead stuff, to keep a good track of that stuff. John, no, that is not online. I need to make a Google Doc, and that will make it easier for me. Yeah, definitely top. Go for a mellow. That'll be great. So, okay, well, here are, all of the 1 gallons that I have going on. So in total, I have 10 1 gallons, and then let me go find, one second, I can show you guys my actual. So it's real empty right now because all those other ones are gone. But we did this one earlier, the September monthly mead, which was the mango mead. The number 7, this is an apple and cinnamon mead. And then we did the October monthly mead, which was a pumpkin mead. And here's the Bochet. I need to take a gravity check of it sometime soon. I'll do that. And then finally, the March monthly mead. And that is currently in primary. So, mead room's real empty, which that's okay. It's about to be full again once I move all this stuff back in. But the big thing is, I want to keep doing as many meads as I possibly can, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this live stream. It has been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun for me. It's good to get to talk to you guys. I think it's really cool to see how you guys interact with me, and then also just kind of get your feedback on what I can do better. Because I'm not going to pretend to be a professional at this stuff. So if you guys will, leave a comment, leave all that stuff. Man, it's great. And I have plans to do more of these, so it'd be really cool to try and do these, do another one of these for when I bottle. So I'm going to bottle very soon. Quite a few of these. Definitely not this guy. This guy's not totally ready to bottle. But these ones that are pretty clear, that have been aging for a while, I think are ready to be bottled. So the next step is buy the bottles and then, start actually putting them in there. So it's going to be an adventure in itself. So leave me ideas and comments and videos and stuff for the actual next monthly meads, because I need more of those. And